So that moment when it's just you, your opponent, and you're just looking at each other, and you'll know you got bad intentions.
Standing 5 feet 5 inches tall, weighing in at 123.4 pounds, and fighting out of Coon Rapids, Minnesota, Linsey Williams.
My name is Linsey Williams. I am someone who is just looking for the next challenge, the next thing that I can dig myself into, and the next goal that I can aspire to and capture. I remember being 10 years old and seeing a flyer for community wrestling, and I brought it home. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I want to wrestle. Mom, can I wrestle? And Mom said no. When I was like 7, I did soccer. When I was in middle school, I tried volleyball a couple times, but really where I found myself was in theater, and I loved musical theater. I loved singing songs and dancing dances and playing roles, and that was it. And so that stayed with me as I moved up through middle school into high school. And then I actually went from a regular high school at Coon Rapids to the St. Paul Conservatory for Performing Artists, where I graduated in 2008. But that was my passion at the time. I foresaw myself becoming a starving artist out in New York City. That was the dream at the time. I did a couple plays here and there, but I didn't have the drive for it like I did before, and I didn't want to be a starving artist. I wanted something more than that. So that was when I kind of switched gears a little bit. So after I dropped out of college and I had that year at home, I had 2 or 3 jobs that I was working, and I had both of my older siblings, Sean and GT, they had enlisted in the military. I saw that they got to go around the world and see things and do things, and I wanted that opportunity. I wanted all of the opportunity I could get all at once, and what was the quickest way to get there? It seemed like it was enlisting in the military. So I did. I said, Mom, hey, where's my birth certificate? And she's like, oh, it's here. And I went and saw a recruiter, and then that day I came home and told her I enlisted. I have to say that my military career and my martial arts career are really inextricably linked. You go from basic training to your military occupational specialty school. And for me, that was in Fort Meade, Maryland. And being public affairs, one of our projects is you and your team, you go do a video shoot somewhere. And the team I was on, they tasked me with, all right, find a subject, find a place that would be cool. And I found this place out in Baltimore called Ground Control Academy, and they do some cool stuff out there. There's people grappling and hitting stuff, and I thought, why not there? So we did, and we had a good time. We produced a good product, but I went back when I had some open weekends. I took a friend and we went and tried some Muay Thai, and that was my first time striking, really, and I really enjoyed it. I was like, this is great. I liked the environment, I liked the people. I was like, I could spend some time here. Cut to, I get home, I'm home for a couple months, I get notified I'm going overseas, I go overseas, and there's a group of people doing jiu-jitsu in Kuwait, and like, great, let's do more of that. And so I did. Anytime I wasn't busy working or out on a mission somewhere away from camp, I would go grapple on the mat. I was hooked ever since. And I knew some people that recommended Minnesota Martial Arts Academy when I came home, and I checked it out and never looked back. When I told my family that I was going to be competing in MMA, Mama hated it. I mean, I kind of got support. My brother had, like I said, he had wrestled, and then he had gone on to do a lot of martial arts while he was doing his Marine Corps thing, and actually did do some professional fighting. So I had his support. I was great. My big sister's like, do you, boo? I mean, if you found something that you're passionate about and want to go for, that's great. there comes a point in your life where, you know, everybody has an opinion, but what matters? And for me, just going out there and doing what I enjoyed doing and what I felt like I could be successful at, that was what mattered. Early on in my career, I got punched in the face a lot, and I just powered through it. With the transition from being an undefeated amateur and then going pro, and then I dropped my pro debut. I dropped it hard. And there's a lot of reasons for how and why, and you know, nothing's ever as cut and dry as it may look on paper. One of the big things about going out and competing in a combative sport is that you can't just do it without putting in a lot of hard work and time and effort. As competition gets closer, it really does consume you more and more. Mentally, desire to be present physically, and it becomes everything. You know that this intense moment is about to happen, and for me, it's just, you know, once you're in the back and you get warmed up, and you just kind of stay kinetic and you try and stay present. So that moment when it's just you, your opponent, and just looking at each other, and you'll know you got bad intentions. Back and forth and skulk like a cat, and then they kind of stage you, and you just kind of there, and you see all the lights and you hear the things, and you just focus on you. You know what you got to do, and it comes back to the theater aspect of it. I want to put on a show.
Let's fight!
My advice to anyone that's pursuing their passion is to make sure that this is something that you can commit to, that you're willing to commit to, and are you willing to do what you can to make it happen. If you can do those things and maintain the right balance, go get them, Tiger.